Hey guys, my name is Wildkard and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. I do really appreciate you tuning into my content. Now, it's Tuesday, it's a news day. Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of rugby. Last week, the All Blacks decided to not show up to the Bledisloe Cup Games 3 and leaving the weekend with no rugby being played. So it was a little bit of a quiet weekend for the world of rugby. And the All Blacks, with very short notice, pulled out of the Bledisloe Cup in a jiffy and left Rugby Australia in a bit of an awkward spot. However, the Bledisloe Cup will be going ahead this weekend. Only 1 week delay. And All Blacks is in town. The show will continue. However, let's have a look at some news. Unlike the team that the players are playing for, who pulled out of the Bledisloe Cup in an instant, 3 of the All Blacks players had pretty bad pull-out games. Seems to be at home. And after the Rugby Champion Ship last year, looked like everybody got a bit, lonely when they were away in Australia for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then everybody got home and got a bit randy. And their pull-out games were a bit off. So 3 of the key All Blacks superstars is going to be missing out the Bledisloe Cup and the entire rest of the tournament due to upcoming, babies being due very soon. And the 3 players are the captain himself, Sam Whitelock, the greatest number 10 ever, Richie Mo'unga, by the way, who's Stan Carter, by the way, and then Aaron Smith, the greatest halfback ever, is also been tied up at home with new babies coming out for the All Blacks. All 3 players has issues with their pull-out game, seems like. But yeah, so this is actually quite interesting because the 3 players are actually the best 3 players in the All Black team. And there are some very interesting stuff that could come out as a result of this. These 3 people missing from the All Blacks team. So first up, Beauden Barrett. All of us big fans of Beauden Barrett, especially as an Australian. We have nightmares of Beauden Barrett scoring tries and beating us in the Rugby World Cup with the commentators screaming, having an orgasm. Oh, go Beauden! As he goes in for a try that sealed the deal for the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup. So a lot of us have really good memories, really terrible nightmares of Beauden Barrett. However, Beauden Barrett, whilst his play has been good, but his kicking has been really off, which is one of the reasons why he was kind of dropped from the number 10 position a few years ago. So this is his chance to get himself back in the good books with the public, with Ian Foster, and get himself an opportunity at starting 10 position for the All Blacks. So yeah, will be very interesting to see how that works. Let me know in the comments below how many kicks Beauden's gonna miss this weekend, and we'll be announcing who's got it right, who's got it wrong in the review on Saturday, rather. But yeah, anyway, so Beauden is back at number 10, and at number 9 position is a bit of a shuffle. There's 3 number 9s for the All Blacks: Finlay Christie, Brad Weber, and I think there's one more person. Let's have a look at who's here, who's not. Yeah. TJ Perenara. So TJ Perenara is probably going to be starting and Brad Weber will be on the bench. But the interesting part with the All Blacks is that they only have 1 announced 5A. So with, I guess, some of you guys mentioned that Damien McKenzie is also a number that could be played number 10. I do remember McKenzie playing number 10. I think he was against the Crusaders in the finals where he did pretty poorly. So Damien McKenzie at 10 is not really, he doesn't look like he's very comfortable playing 10, to be really frank, especially at big matches. Whilst he is a playmaker, he's not really that, in my opinion, not that confident at 10. I think there was another game where he played at 10 where I think he played the one he got red carded, he played 10. I think he played against Western Force at 10 where they almost lost. I think that wasn't that was when D-Mac was playing 10. But yeah, D-Mac at 10 is not really my preferred choice for a reserve 10. And some of you guys also mentioned that Jordie Barrett could potentially play at 10. Again, I don't think I've seen Jordie. Whilst I have seen him playing at the 10 position, as with number 15 on his back, but I have not seen him actually play 10 for the Hurricanes. So unless I'm wrong, from memory, I don't remember seeing him at 10 this season. So he could potentially play at the role of the 10, but his experience as an actual starting 10 is next to none. And so I was very surprised that Sir Fozzie didn't call up another actual 10, like Brent Gatland or something, or like Otero Black. I think Otero Black is going overseas. Maybe that's the reason. But anyway, I was surprised that he didn't call up another 10 for this spot. Because if anything happens to the Beauden, if his kicking is off, or they just have to copy, I guess he can hand it over to Damien McKenzie. But if Beauden Barrett gets injured, then D-Mac is on, and that could see the All Blacks really struggle quite a bit in big matches, especially against like South Africa or especially against like South Africa. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And also the second thing that was quite talked about is the captaincy. And captaincy went to the best man for the game for the team, Ardie Savea. I was actually pondering about who was going to get a captaincy. In my head, I thought maybe Scott Barrett will get a captaincy, despite the fact maybe he'll move off the bench because now now that Wildkard is missing, I thought maybe he will get the captaincy. But yeah, Ardie Savea, he's captain for the Hurricanes, so well deserved to be the captain, and he's very proud to have earned the opportunity, and it will be a very proud moment to be the captain for the greatest rugby team in the world, I guess. Also, sticking with the All Blacks, Ian Foster's deal was due last week. He only had a 2-year deal. So Fozzie, after beating Australia quite convincingly, secured himself another 2 years, taking the All Blacks into the World Cup to 2023. So yeah, some of you guys were talking about potentially getting Razor into the fold, but Fozzie, it really isn't that much of an excuse. Last year's performance was a bit lackluster, losing to Argentina, but overall, he ticked all the boxes, won the Rugby Championship, won the Bledisloe Cup, and really not much else to say to criticize him for his work. And this year, quite convincingly beat all the teams so far. So you really can't criticize him, despite the fact that I know a lot of you guys do think that Fozzie is probably not the best choice taking the All Blacks to the Rugby World Cup in 2 years, which we shall see what happens. By the way, in my opinion, Ian Foster is the greatest coach ever. And you should definitely just like sign him up for like the next 10 years. I do think that is the right option for the All Blacks. Now, Wallabies also has some pull-out issues at home, I'm talking about. So, Luke Msaka, Lotto, and Hunter Paisami also got their wives pregnant after the Rugby Championship. So, they're both going to be missing the Bledisloe Cup test at least. So, they might be able to come back for like later on in the Rugby Championship, because there ain't like locals, they can potentially just show up. But yeah, they're gonna be missing out as well from the Australian camp. And stick with Australia. So the Bledisloe Cup is this weekend. There's a lot of talks of a lot of Seals bad kicking, and not just me. Okay, it's not just me criticizing him. A lot of people are criticizing him in the news media as well. And there's talks of Quade Cooper potentially starting. And that'll be pretty good for me because, yeah, I do like myself a little bit of nostalgia. Quade hasn't been the best performer for the Wallabies in the past, but his performance is still better than Lolosio at this stage. And yeah, and with, age comes with experience. He's aged quite a bit since last time he played for the Wallabies, so I would not be surprised that he has learned a few more tricks since his last outings with the Wallabies, which was in 2017. So it will be interesting to see if Quade gets a chance to perform for the gold jersey again, which I do want to see. I really don't want to see just another throwaway loss because Lolosio threw like another intercept pass or something, and that's just a waste of time for everybody. So Lolosio needs to take his punishment, be on the bench or not being selected at all. Bounce back stronger next time. But for now, if you just throw him another opportunity to get destroyed, it's just not really ideal for everyone. And furthermore, out of injury is THORMEULEN and Faf de Klerk potentially be good to go for the Rugby Championship, which is really, really good. So THORMEULEN he was injured literally like the day when they announced the team for the Springboks for 2021 for the Lions tour. So he got injured at the beginning of the Lions tour, just before the Lions tour started, and now he's ready to go. And same with Faf. Faf was injured in the second game in the Lions test where looked like he pulled his hammy by doing a box kick. And so Faf will be good as well. And Faf is really, really, it's really, really good to see Faf back because Faf is really a big piece of the puzzle for the Springboks, and he really sets up a lot of the options for the Springboks, and really like spices up the Springboks attacking quite a lot. So really interesting. It's good to see Faf back, and good to see some exciting rugby coming up for the Springboks as well. And I was actually a little bit concerned for the Springboks running out of halfbacks too. But yeah, so Faf is coming back, so that's good to see. And also there was some scared in the Springbok camp, so there were some false positives tests when the Springboks arrived in Brisbane. So luckily that was just false positives, but everyone is good to go. Gets in isolation, get ready to go. A bit more news from the Springboks. Rassie Erasmus, he's not traveling with the team. So Jaco Johan, he is going to prepare for his court appearance coming up soon. I think I read somewhere this week that this week is the last week he can submit his defense before the court hearings. So quite busy, and also he's saying this article, but it basically says that they want him to not be a distraction for the Rugby Championship as the court hearing is coming up. So yeah, so Jaco Johan, he is not going to be with everyone. That's bit more news. So for the rest of the Rugby Championship, that was confirmed Tuesday last week. It's going to be played in Brisbane. It's going to be 3 weekends, back-to-back tests, double headers, 3 weekends on the September 10th, October 3rd, so they haven't. Sorry, not 3, two double header weekends. So, because the Wallabies and All Blacks already played each other, so it's just going to be Wallabies versus South Africa and Wallabies versus the Pumas, and same with the All Blacks. So it'll be, so 2 weekends left, September 10, October 3, played in Brisbane, Townsville, and the Gold Coast. So yeah, that's basically what's going to be happening for the Rugby Championship. We'll see how that pans out. And we'll see. And also there could be a potential change with the Bledisloe Cup, depends on the AFL games. Also moved to Perth due to restrictions in Melbourne. And it's just the world we live in, man. Just the world we live in. Now, finally, I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but it's officially confirmed, inked and confirmed. There's 2 additional teams to the Super Rugby. It's going to be Super 12 next year. The addition of Moana Pacificard and Fijian Jura into the Super Rugby Championship, and this going to be like a regular season for the minor premiership, and then following elimination rounds for a major premiership, Super Rugby Premiership, and the top 8 teams will go through for the major premiership. Pretty similar to in the rugby league. So the top 8 will go in. First place versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, with the top ranked team hosting each of these games. Assuming that there's no travel restrictions, I guess, next year. And semi-finals, again, the winners of these teams will play each other. And then the finals, we played in the team that has the highest rank. So if the number 1 team gets in the finals, they will get the home game. So that's the format for the Super Rugby next year. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I can't wait to see it all New Zealand quarterfinals. Not quarterfinals, semi-finals. 4 New Zealand team playing each other in semi-finals. Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else I'm gonna say? Oh yeah. So also, I read somewhere that with regards to Super Rugby Pacific, with the Pacifica teams, the New Zealand Rugby is paying the bills for Fijian Drua and Moana Pacifica. So yeah, so that is something that obviously, I don't even know what to say. I don't think New Zealand is in the best financial position to do that, but the Australia Rugby is also not in the financial position to do that either. And so sometimes I feel like, it's good to say that, hey, we've got the Islanders finally involved in Super Rugby. But I think sometimes financially, if it does not make sense, then this just shouldn't be like, it's just let it go. Let it wait for a time when things are doing well before you start trying to do these things that, makes you look good, but like just costing you millions of dollars on your books, right? So I was watching. So here's the thing, right? I want to just go a little bit of a tangent before I finish off this video. So on Saturday, there was no rugby, and the All Blacks really put on a courtesy match on YouTube, which was the 2017 game between the All Blacks versus South Africa in Auckland. Okay, so first of all, this was a really exciting game. This was a game where Beauden Barrett was 10, and he was just like super in form, got every kick, set up every try. It was just like spectacular to see. But here's the thing, right? You're producing this game on YouTube for a global audience, hoping to grow your fan base. You showed a game that I didn't see. I don't remember watching this game. So after about 30 minutes in, I realized that the Springboks wasn't getting flogged, and then I just lost interest basically. And then sure enough, around in the second half, the All Blacks was like completely dominating over the Springboks. And then the second half started, it got even worse for the Springboks. So I just pretty much like stopped watching. So if you wanted to grow your fan base, don't put on games. Put on games that you win. Okay, that's fine. But don't put on games where you completely trash the opposition, where it does not make you look good, where you completely trash it and it's not interesting to watch. I'm sure the most hardcore fans in New Zealand would have already seen this game and went, nah, I don't want to see it anymore. And this was a record loss to the Springboks. So no one in South Africa wants to see this. As a neutral person from Australia, I was really into it for about 30 minutes, and then I realized the All Blacks is gonna completely blow this one out of the water, and I stopped watching. So I just it's really poor business decision from the All Blacks perspective. They should have put it on again the way it was much closer. In my mind, the Springbok versus All Black game in 2015, Richie McCaw's last game in South Africa, that was one of the best rugby games ever. That would have been a game that you put on for this kind of things, and that would have got you a lot more fans than putting on a game where you just I'm sure the New Zealand, even your own fans are sick of watching. It's just so poor, such a bad business decision there. And then whilst I was watching this video, I actually couldn't believe what I heard the commentator say whilst this game was happening. So apparently this was played in Auckland, and then there was something to do with New Zealand Rugby wanting to support local clubs or local stadiums or something. So instead of playing at Eden Park, which could fill I think 50,000 people, they played at a way smaller stadium, which could only fill 30,000 people. And I literally could not believe what I heard. My mind, I literally blown up. My mind just blew up when I heard that. And the commentators was like, oh, it's a full, they talk about it's a fully sold out stadium, and it's 30,000 people, not at Eden Park. And I was like, what? You could have sold 50,000. You said you sold 30. I was completely mind blown, like how they could literally, like, just decide to not sell, to like, you know, to undersell a big match by 40% of potential tickets, and literally cut 40% of potential ticket sales in like the premier match of the year. I genuinely don't understand how they could come to this decision. And then you wonder why New Zealand rugby is running out of money and they're going bankrupt. Like, it's these stupid decisions that's just baffling from like hearing it. So yeah, like the people that's in charge in New Zealand, they should all just get fired. Like, it's just unacceptable. Like, unacceptable. The biggest match in Rugby Championship of the year, you put it in a stadium that only can host, that's 40% smaller than Eden Park. 40, and you wonder why your business is going bankrupt. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Do appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do read all your comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys a little bit later this week for the team announcement. And cheers.